when business is going well, you're probably not as smart as you think you are. And when business is going bad, you're probably not as stupid as you think you are.
That's a really interesting way of looking at it. So, Scott, thanks for coming today.
That's all right.
We're celebrating 10 years of Umlaut this year, but I want to find out more about you, really. So tell me what you do, who you are, when you started your company.
It's a big question. So it has evolved over the years. So this month we're 3 years as an agency. When we started out, we were a personal branding agency, cash for posts and engagement, pretty simple. And that was the first brand that we made with yourself. Fairly simple, quite young, quite fun. Working with people. And it's evolved a little bit since then. We're now a relationship development agency. So we actually take care of the sales process as well as the marketing and content process as well. And we've just reflected that in our new brand, December 23, I think we finished.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're now a grown-up agency.
And how does that feel?
It's good. Like I'd like to say all our clients are now grown-ups in the sense that they're all established buyers. They're not looking to try personal branding or SEO or PPC for 3 months and then move the same budget around every 3 months.
Yeah.
You know, they stick with one thing for a considered period of time, or it's part of a wider marketing mix.
Yeah.
So yeah, we needed a brand to establish that.
Yes.
So yeah, it's been good.
What time frame does that cover?
So the first, I think, 9 months of Voir, we had a landing page.
Yeah.
And just my personal brand to drive clients. I didn't create a brand when I first started because I realised that there wasn't anything to brand because I haven't done anything yet. So I had to build a bit of context behind what we were doing and then work with someone like yourself to actually define how we were going to position ourselves.
So what were you doing before this?
So I was marketing director for 3 years in the recruitment industry.
Yeah.
Recruitment's the number one thing on LinkedIn.
Recruitment, that's a fun job.
Yeah, so I did the fun bit in a boring industry.
Okay.
So I was doing other things. So I was doing like employer branding,
Yeah.
which was really fun, working with big corporates on that sort of stuff. Lots of content marketing, email marketing, full suite, you know, very serious stuff. But what I realised was that content marketing, personal branding, like sales cycle generation was really what I was passionate about.
Yeah.
And COVID made everyone sit and think for a year about what they wanted to do. I realised the worst case scenario was it didn't work and I went and got another job. Right. So I took the leap and yeah, it's been great since. Obviously it's been some challenging times. But
yeah, sure.
Everyone has
There always is.
Yeah.
So what is one of the most memorable moments you've had while building your brand?
It's a difficult question. I saw, because we've built 2 brands now, I'm sure we'll...
Yeah, right.
I'm
so
sure,
this is a weird one because we have built 2.
I'm sure
the first one was so good.
Yeah. It's always, I always think it's like a haircut.
Right.
You know, when you go, looked great at the time.
Yeah.
You look back and you go, oh my God.
Yeah. Every piece of work as soon as it's finished.
Yeah, it's redundant. I loved the first brand we did. Not more than the one we have now, but it just it made the business feel real.
Yeah.
And it made it feel more than just me, because I think it was just me when we did that.
Yeah.
And then like 2-3 members of staff, and it's sort of grown out, and it's, you know, it becomes a real thing. I think that was the most memorable, but it was just fun and playful, and it just worked.
So what did you first think when we started working together? Loaded question, right?
How long is this interrogation?
How long is this going to take?
Well, I did sort of know what I was getting into because I'd sort of been through the process with other agencies before.
Yeah.
But I'd not worked with agencies that they cared more about creating the product than they did about brand. Like you guys, the impression I got was all about brand and positioning and values behind your brand. And once you can establish all of that, you can then put it into something, be it, you know, your landing page, your website, your app, whatever you want to do. And we spent so much time trying to solidify what the brand was. And
it's interesting, right? Because you started from nothing, I guess. And, and it was a really interesting kind of story to tell without anything to go on, you know, in a market that is, personal branding is relatively new, right?
Yeah. We sort of the first brand we made was just to sit within the ecosystem of the community, probably not bash too many walls. And the second brand we made was just sort of step away from that, really.
Yeah.
Because it didn't represent who we were or what we did.
Yeah.
And in 3 years of running the agency, we've only ever won or lost one client to another agency.
Okay.
So people either decide to work with us or not work with
they
anyone,
don't.
or they just don't do it.
Yeah.
We're not really being compared to other people,
Yeah.
which is great. So people buy into us and our story and my story, which I would say means we've got a pretty strong brand for what we do.
Yeah.
And people aren't going out to market and going, oh, they're this cost, you're this cost, whatever, which I think is a really nice space to be. It means we don't have a crazy huge deal flow, but we're a small agency and we're not going to be some huge agency anytime soon.
Yeah. Oh, what are some of the unique aspects of your brand story that you'd like to share?
I think the last brand we did, I think was quite challenging in the sense that we didn't really fit in the personal branding space because I didn't feel part of it. And
It's a funny industry, right?
It's a funny industry, and I think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors with people. And I think that we wanted to be completely transparent about what we sold.
Yeah.
And none of our clients care about likes and engagement, because if you're already credible and successful, why do you care about likes and social validity? It doesn't do anything apart from pump up your ego.
Yeah.
If it doesn't build relationships with people that are going to impact you and your business, and if it doesn't bring you leads, you're not going to care. And also, the people that we work with, they already have leads, they already have deal flow. It's the stuff that takes 9, 12, 18 months to work towards that they can't do themselves. They need our support to do. So they're coming to us for a very different thing than what other people in the industry. Other people are using personal branding as a hack to,
For want of a better word.
for want of a better word, to create huge amount of engagement and traffic in order to sell their thing. They think more eyeballs, more sales, and that doesn't work for our clients because the people that they sell to is just like this. We had to sort of try and to unravel and explain what our brand meant to us and what it meant to our clients. And what it came down to was relationship development and making our clients more social online and in person. And we do that. Like, the whole point of LinkedIn content is to get people to have more coffees.
Yeah.
The whole point.
Why? Because people like coffee?
I like coffee. Who doesn't like coffee? I've got a 4-month-old baby, so coffee's great.
Yeah, coffee's helping right now.
Coffee's helping. But people want to be more social in person. They also want to be more social online. And what I find is that most people sit in either one camp. You know, their great networkers in person, or they're great online, but they're vice versa not great. So it's trying to create a bit of a flow of doing both, but also making yourself approachable to other people. And one of the problems that we found in our first 18 months of working was a lot of the clients that we worked with, they were pushing their own self-interest. So they wanted to sell to Ryan and they wanted us to help them do it. Whereas the clients we have now, they want to help Ryan, who is their ideal prospect, give them loads of value, do whatever they can to support them. And then Ryan eventually gives in and works with them and refers them some huge client, whatever it is. And the people that don't need anything from you are the ones that support you the most, which end up coming back the most. So it's like anything. If you try and chase something, you push it away. If you try and attract it, it comes towards you. And that's the big change in our client base now, and also the reflection of the brand. So yeah, we're now a relationship development agency that uses multiple different tools. Yeah, we sell highly engaged relationships, which we can track and build. I can't guarantee how many leads convert, how many clients convert, because there's so many things outside my control. We have clients that have £600,000 contract that was signed last week. That started off with a common exchange, and then 9 months of stuff happened. Some of it we controlled, some of it we didn't. So
must be a good feeling, right?
Yeah, amazing feeling. And we've had a part to play in it. We're not the only reason why it happened.
Don't play yourself down, Scott.
But we're part, as you have a bigger contract value and more complex service offering, we're always part of a solution. We're not, they clicked a link and now we have a client. It's a bit more complex now. Yeah, the work we do now is really rewarding because we brand people, we bring them leads, we bring them relationships and people, an ecosystem around them, Because one of the things that we found was that founders, C-suites were incredibly lonely, and they really lacked networks. They had their clients and their employees, but they didn't have, those stakeholders around them that would, refer them business and leads, but also support them as people. And that's one of the things that we focus on, is trying to give you an ecosystem of people, as well as, obviously people want leads and business, but that's one of the things that the brand now reflects.
Yeah, and what's just listening to you talk there, Scott, what's really kind of humbling and warming to me is like you're using some of the words and terminology that we came up with within the brand process. Like there was a lot of that kind of theory that came before we got the brand established.
And it just gives you the bones to go off, doesn't it? When you create those, those brand pillars. We worked on something, VMe.
VMe, yeah.
And it sort of shows it's like a moving blob. A moving blob, but it's amazing because we put it in our reports and it shows what people are focused on that month, what they've achieved, whether it's lead gen or whether it's relationships or whether it's brand exposure or whatever.
So looking back, what are some of the key lessons you've learned as a business owner, would you say?
Not to zoom in too much.
What does that mean? So
you might have a rubbish month, you might have a rubbish quarter, but it's as long as you can get through, it sort of picks up. And the thing I think is that when business is going well, you're probably not as smart as you think you are. And when business is going bad, you're probably not as stupid as you think you are.
That's a really interesting way of looking at it.
And there, your business will probably trend up and down with the market.
Yeah.
You might be at the top of the line or the bottom of the line of the market, but you're probably going to follow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in the first year of the business, first 4 or 5 months, was just absolutely rammed with clients, did amazingly well, and I was like, this is great. And then we had no clients for 4 months.
Right.
And I lived off of the cash flow of the first part of the year, and I was like, do I know what I'm doing? And now as we work longer term with clients and we have more stability in the client base, it's, you have better and worse months, but when you zoom back and look at your end of year accounts, it's like, oh, it was actually pretty consistent.
Yeah, don't zoom in. I get it.
Yeah, don't zoom in, I think is my point, and sort of allow your service offering and your business to evolve with what feels comfortable to you and what clients want from you. I'm really happy with the service offering we have now. And it's just evolved with what clients want and what I want to do.
Yeah.
So.
How would you say that working together has helped your brand?
I think being a marketer myself, I think you can get a bit in your own head about brand and stuff like that, and it's very important to have someone externally to bounce ideas off, but also someone that works with other agencies, other people in the market as well, and you can have a fresh pair of eyes on it, and it's just an enjoyable process, I think, to work on brand assets and collateral with someone else that's going to understand how it's going to impact your business. Like, I could sit and try and do it myself, and I could probably do a 30% as good a job, but it's not going to have the impact on my business and it's also not my bread and butter. I'm not a branding person. I'm not a design person. I'm a marketing person. So I need someone that's going to support me with that.
So, I guess we've been going 10 years. How long has Voir been going now?
3 years this month.
So where would you want Voir to be when you get to 10? Because it's going to happen. I mean, it's inevitable.
That's the question. I'd like it to continue to evolve with the market, continue to be value-led in terms of the work that we do, continue to be honest with clients. I told someone yesterday that I didn't want to work with them because they cared.
We all have to do it.
They cared more about the outcome of the work that we do rather than the work we do. Mm-hmm. And that's a red flag, right?
Yeah.
And I think when you start compromising on things like that, it's a bit of a slippery slope.
Yeah.
And you can get yourself very unhappy. Even if the client's happy, you can make yourself very unhappy.
Yeah.
I'd like, grow the team, grow the offering, do a few more things, but I want to still keep our core offering the same because it's what I enjoy. Mm-hmm. And it's what the team enjoys doing. So more of the same, I'd say.
Well, thanks very much for coming in today, Scott.
It's all right. Thanks for having me.
I'm sure we'll continue to work together, and it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for supporting us.
That's it. Thanks for having me. He didn't turn the button on.